Hello Summoners, welcome back to the channel and another tier list update for the month of September. Now I haven't done a face cam video in a pretty long time, so I'm not exactly sure how it look. But this is going to be a very quick one because we don't have that many changes. We just had one new character coming in this month, which was Gladiator. Let me put him in bold because we'll be talking about him. And the other was the Iron Man buff. And besides that, this is the list. I will scroll it down again so you can have a proper look. A link to it should be in the description and also the pinned comment if you want to have a proper look yourself in the future or right now. And if you're wondering what these emojis mean, here they are with the meanings. And if you're wondering what the synergies, some of the famous ones are listed here. If it isn't, then do let me know. I'll comment it down below. Now let's start with the Iron Man buff. I was pleasantly surprised with it. It's pretty good buff, if you ask me. Uh, the only thing is he needs a little bit of a ramp up, but the good thing is even in shorter fights like battlegrounds level fight, I don't think he's gonna be very slow. He might be slower than a lot of your new options, but overall I think he has a very good buff. He's basically a new character now. You go for SP2, you go for SP1, you have armor breaks and they are pretty damn potent. Like you're hitting extremely hard. I was playing around with the rank 5 6-star one. He was hitting like 42,000 medium attacks. It was pretty crazy. But again, you won't get it right off the bat. It takes SP2 and then at least one SP1 to get that kind of like a decent amount of damage. But after that, it's a very good time. So Iron Man, I think, is a solid character. Is he the best Iron Man in the game? Probably not sure. I think Infamous Iron Man is still, at least for now, better. Like it's too early to say that Iron Man is better than him. That's just what I'm gonna say. The other Iron Man is also a Doom though, so that's just unfair. The next character we're gonna talk about is Gladiator. You might be expecting to see him here. I'm not sure. He has a lot of potential. You might notice he has an emoji next to him, which means that high skill required. The reason for that, like, he isn't particularly hard to play with because you basically knock down the opponent. They have intimidate. So like they play very defensively, and you can hit in the block, gain your charges, and gain your confidence and stuff. After a while, you'll be unblockable, which makes things even easier, and you'll also be unstoppable for some of the fights. So it's a good time, and overall the damage is pretty balanced. You won't see crazy numbers with him unless you are like super confident mode or whatever it's called, and you are interrupting special attacks by dashing in, which decent amount of champions in the game like have very quick windows on the special attack or like one hit special attack, so that's not really going to be possible. But it doesn't really, like every special attack at the end when it's finished you can dash in and do a bunch of damage, but there are some champions like that is why he is in my opinion slightly harder to play, because to get maximum damage potential out of him, like to get him in the crazy damage potential category, you have to be really good with spacing, you have to be really good with managing your unstoppable and by dashing in, knowing the opponent's special attacks and stuff. So he has, I've seen some crazy clips with him, but I'm not sure if that is, something that can be replicated in how much percent of the game and all of that stuff, like or where will he be used and stuff. We'll have to figure that out. But overall, he's a solid character. There are debuffs, there are decent numbers, and overall, I think he feels pretty damn good. Now we'll talk about the best SEO and rest you can have look yourself. So Cosmic Ghost Rider, do we really need to explain this crazy damn like really crazy damage? By the way, right now in store you can get a selector which guarantees a 6-star Cosmic Ghost Rider. In rupees it's like 2000 rupees or something, I'm not sure. In dollars it's a pretty decent deal if you are spending money in the game, and if you want a particular character then you can, like I don't have Cosmic Ghost Rider as a 6-star and I'm really tempted, but then you can kind of buy AAA games in that kind of money, so probably gonna skip it. But it is like if you are spending money in the game, then I would recommend, if you're missing someone like Cosmic Ghost Rider, pick it up. Then we have Hercules, the best champion in the game, if you ask me. He has a damage. It takes a bit, like SP1, then SP2. He's not the best damage output wise, he's no CGR, but Anywhere medium long fight, it's really really good. After the SP2, after the precision and the cruelty, it's really, really good. And also, like, obviously throughout the fight you build up his like persistent charges, and you start off with shrimps of feats of shrimp, whatever they're called, his charges. And yeah, utility wise, like if it's an unawakened Hercules, then I don't think an unawakened Hercules is the best character in the game, but an awakened one at a high signature level, basically unkillable. And yeah, that is why he's a cheese machine basically. Then we have Hulkling, super duper high damage, very easy to play. Can be a very good defender as well, a very good champion to have for battleground. You can put him on, like you can use him on attack, finish extremely quickly, get good times with him. You can put him on defense, and it will be annoying for a lot of people because you can't really block much with him. He gets indestructible a lot, so you have to like managed. For example, if I have a champion who has a big SP2 and I put that SP2 and he becomes like, you have to keep an eye on those indestructible charges, make sure that wherever most of the damage is coming from, like he's, oh, what is up with Electron Sentry being in the middle? Like, why is something is up here? Like earlier I found Rhino to be in here. I don't know. We'll figure it out after the video, I guess, because mainly we have to talk about Gladiator and Iron Man today. But anyways, you get the point, right? Hulkling super super strong. Rank him up if you have him. Can be used offensively and defensively. Gallon, great for shorter fights, great for medium fights. Not particularly good for longer fights. I think his damage doesn't really scale that well for longer fights, and then there are better options. Then we have Human Torch, Mystic Killer, Quicksilver, Spot, Scorpion, Quake. I think like Quicksilver is a character I recently ranked up, and I'm not having a great time using him. I might personally, I don't have him in this category. I have ranked him up. I'm kind of disappointed, but I've seen some good stuff from him, and he's like a character where I've seen the community be pretty split. Like some people really really like him, and some people really do not like him. I kind of am becoming in the latter category. So in my personal list, like if you ask me, then but personally I did rank him up, but now I'm slightly regretting it. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Spot is phenomenal. I wish I could get him as a 6 star sometime. Scorpion, in my opinion, at this point is the most versatile science champion. Like Torch against Mystic, sure, is crazy. It doesn't get any better. But Scorpion overall, I think, is the best science champion in the game, and Quake is not available as 6 star. But if she were, and wait, you can ascend her now, so makes her a little bit more relevant. If you are a Quake fan, her playstyle is not for everyone, right? But if you like quaking, she is pretty much like she takes no damage and she kills the opponent. Like she's a cheat code basically, unless there's like true strike or something preventing her playstyle, in which case she is pretty used. Like she's either the best champion for the fight, like not damage wise, but otherwise, or she's the absolute worst. If you can't use her, you can't use her. Then we have Shang-Chi. I usually don't do this, but yeah, Shang-Chi I think is one of my favorite champions in the game. Like I don't think it's the strongest skill. I think that is still Kingpin. But Shang-Chi is just very, very fun, big yellow numbers, and great for battleground, great for pretty much everywhere. Like even Alliance Quest, you can use him, Alliance Boy, you can use him, great utility, easy access to slow and stuff, whatever you want. You can go for, like, even do your things from the block, like while the opponent's blocking. I think he is the full package. He is a very, very strong champion. Kate Bishop, I don't have her personally. I've seen some crazy stuff. She is very, very strong. If you have her, you see some videos, and she is worth ranking up. Same goes for Valkyrie, great for battlegrounds, pretty damn insane. And Kingpin, I think, again, is the versatility. Dude is super duper tanky, heals from willpower, has degeneration on the speed 1, defensive ability reduction, hits decently hard. Overall, he's short of debuffs. He can handle so much in this game that he just has to be here. And then Nick Fury, in my opinion, his value has increased after Battlegrounds. He's so good in Battlegrounds as a defender. I have a rank for Nick. I see Nick Fury in the opponent deck. I kind of ban him usually, unless I see something like a Tumo or something, because I don't have a 6 star Archangel. and or basically like a top tier Nick counter, I can get him down, but it takes so long and it can go wrong. Nick Fury just wastes a lot of time. It's not a particularly hard fight. Like I rarely die or time out on Nick Fury. Maybe a rank 5 Nick Fury. Maybe if I get a bad draft, I can time out on. But it would be so slow that I think most times I fail Nick Fury unless I have Archangel. Like I have ascended my 5-star Archangel though now. I have lost a lot of times with Nick Fury, and when I've used him on defense, people lose against Nick Fury. So he is incredibly valuable in battlegrounds defense, not in alliance. I don't think he'll get many kills in alliance for defense. So it's basically the time waste factor of him, and especially like even Nick Fury, the character who generally speaking 2 years ago, if you ask me, he does not need six. When A1 and Nick Fury ruled the skill class, I used to say six to A1, Awakening Gem to Fury, and Nick Fury. Because he is more time at C200, it's kind of offensively you don't get much use out of it, but defensively, yeah, it's worth it. Attack wise, basically have a cheat death mechanic which is super strong, and even in first phase, like at rank 4, rank 5 as a 6-star, he hits so hard that is fine. And once you get rid of the first phase and real Nick Fury kicks in, holy shit, the damage is crazy, the bleeds are insane, the utility is there, you can be unblockable. He is at the same time one of the easiest characters to play with because of having the cheat death mechanic, and also one of the hardest because in the second phase where you really want to be, you are going to be playing with very low health and do not want to be running suicide mastery with him unless it's just for like one fight or something. That's fine. Then we have Archangel, my favorite champion in the game, undoubtedly the best old champion in the game. He just keeps getting better. Handles anything that bleeds and poisons. Like, probably 70% of the fight champions of the game are not immune to bleed, poison, or both. So he works exceptionally well there. Of course, the node could also mess him up, but generally speaking, Archangel is a go-to champ for Alliance War, for Battlegrounds, which are the competitive areas of the game. He's also great for side quests, story mode, basically everything, bro. Like Archangel is super strong. Kitty Pryde considered to be the second best character in the game by many, including kind of me. She is very cheesy. Again, Hercules and Kitty Pryde, if you know how to play them well, they are kind of in the unkillable range because if you fail, you take no damage, you can get hit by SP3, and nothing really, you won't really be taking any damage. So, and you phasing with the Tigress, you will also be unblockable. So, she's not even extremely, like, she's not as hard to play as Tigra or Quake, in my opinion. So, yeah, like maybe in order to phase perfectly to get the highest amount of prowesses, biggest special attacks, maybe then yeah she requires a bit of spatial knowledge, phasing at the right time and all of that stuff. But generally speaking, even if moderately skilled player who knows how to intercept kind of picks her up, especially with the Tiger synergy, it's not particularly hard to get good use out of Kitty Pride. And Apocalypse, in my opinion, has gone down in usage. I don't see that many people use Apocalypse. I see him in decks for defense sometimes. See, Battlegrounds is basically useless on attack, let's be honest. He can be used. He's not useless, but he's not top tier attacker in most metas. Maybe some node combination will be good because he needs 4 charges. Without his 4 charges, he doesn't hit hard. You have to do SP1 2 times and SP2 2 times to get all your debuffs up. Whereas if you have the 4 charges, SP1 you get 2 debuffs, SP2 you get both the debuffs, and after that it's good. And you add Strife, it gets even better. His damage is good with either you build him up, which is like building up Morningstar. I'm not a fan at all. I hate building up Apocalypse, so every time I use him, I have Cable, which is great because Cable also has a good synergy with him and they work well together. But Apocalypse, when he starts with 4 charges, he feels so much better. He is really good for a lot of areas in story content, but after Nimrod was introduced, is not great at defense. And you don't need Nimrod at this point to kill an apocalypse. You can be good with so many characters. People can. He wastes a little bit of time because his special attacks are super long. That's basically it. That's all he has on defense for now. Then we have Magneto. A lot of people, I heard somewhere that Magneto is losing his value. I don't see it. I think he's still incredibly valuable. And then you have a hashtag metal champion. So many metal champions in the game, even now. So many of them are annoying to fight. Even in Battleground, I feel like he's no new. Even against hashtag metal, you have to go to the SP3, right? So it takes a while. He won't be finishing a fight very fast. But it's so safe to fight him, like fight with him against hashtag, and it feels so good. Like if the opponent has just two metal champions left and put him on defense, it's like checkmate. Although I have once lost to that also in battlegrounds. Embarrassing thing to admit, I know, but it has happened. Then we have Warlock. Dude's missing a bit of damage, but he has enough utility to make up for it, in my opinion. Immunities, he has them. Armor breaks are good. He can get easy access to bleed debuff on the heavy attack. He has power control. He can like, deal with champions who heal. So overall, a lot of things are packed into him utility wise, which makes him pretty damn good. Also, like that Speedo is still cool. Will never get old. Nimrod, I think, is the best tech champion in the game. Only one I think competes is Ghost. Nimrod, I feel like, is underrated even now against non-mutant matchups. A lot of people think he's basically a Human Torch version for instead of killing mystics used for mutants. But even in non-mutant matchup, he's extremely good, especially in battlegrounds, but even otherwise. The damage is still really good. Of course, against mutants, he is just incredible. Infamous Iron Man. Okay, there are some characters that I have here based on what I have seen in other people's videos, other people's lists, other people like their gameplay and stuff. And it doesn't help that those people are incredibly skilled at the game. So, like, see, Sweden can make any champion look really good. It's kind of like how Voldemort said with the Elder Wand when he was not the master of it. Even though he did incredible magic, it's not the wand. He was incredible. So that's kind of the thing. Like Swida, he is so skilled, and a lot of other Marvel Contest champions, YouTubers as well. They're just so skilled that they pick up a character, they get used to it a bit. They can just be really good with them. And right now, I think the average character in the game is much better than the average character in the game used to be a couple of years ago. Like a couple of years ago, average character was barely playable. These days, average character you can pretty much use them for most of it. Like you get 3, 4 various average level characters. Like there are 200 plus characters in the game. Characters you would rate like 80 to 100 maybe. You can get through pretty much every content in the game with them. Maybe not Abyss, alright. It's like maybe you would need someone more specific for that. But story content wise, I think you can beat pretty much everything from for those characters. Mainly because the really bad champions were buffed. You will see this list is very I have no idea what I did. Very top heavy, and there are not many champions left here, and that is a good thing because now you pull a character you are either very happy or you're okay with it. You get your Venoms, you get your Novas, you get your Red Goblins. They're not at the top, but you like them. You can play with them, and they can give you good result. They can clear content. They're not the fastest, but they're there and they can do it basically. Earlier, an average character was, there was a time when people used to do Labyrinth of Legends with Captain Marvel as a 5 star. I think rank 3. Yeah, I think rank 4. I think rank 4. Even Drax was used by a lot of people. Like it was between a 5 star Drax and Captain Marvel, 5 star Rocket pre-buff, or 4 star Star-Lord. That is what a lot of people, I myself did Labyrinth with a 4 star Star-Lord. So a lot of people had that choice, and now see where they have fallen. So that used to be what an average character look like. That's 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't know, but kind of get the point. Yeah, so that's why I'm not gonna say much about Infamous Iron Man, Ant-Man Future, because I personally don't have them. I rank them up in the list because of other people's opinion and gameplay and stuff. Omega Sentinel, I think, is solid. She doesn't have much health. Keep that in mind. But overall, is pretty damn good. Damage output wise, utility wise. We have Ghost. So many emojis. See, if you have Suicide Masteries, you have a Synergy, you have high skill level, and you have a Ghost that is awakened at a high signature level. She is crazy. She is absolutely insane. You gain a lot of people don't understand how good a SIG 200 Ghost is because you gain so much power from phasing. A lot of people just phase one head. I also myself do it sometimes. But if you are a pro coaster, you can phase multiple hits, gain so much power, get to the SP2 so much quicker. That SP2 is gonna hit so damn hard, and you time your heavy attacks, or you exchange your heavy attacks after opponent's special attack, you gain those furies, you have synergies, and like Odin synergy, you have your Yellow Jacket, your Ant-Man, you're gonna be hitting so hard that SP2 is gonna finish the fight. So Ghost is insane, and I don't think anyone should doubt that in 2023. Doctor Doom, again, very, very strong. I think he's considered the second best. Okay, maybe. Like Hercules, Kitty, Doctor Doom, they're top three, if you ask me. Personal opinion. It is a personal opinion, but at the same time, I think majority of the community will agree with it. Like you ask top three champions, most of them will say either three. The sequence can vary, of course, but yeah. Then yeah, Doctor Doom. Main thing about him is actually not his damage. It's not anything in particular. It's the control that he gets. After the SP3 is fight is over. Medium, medium, light, 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 medium, medium, SP1. Again, you just after that second SP3, you just know it's over. Then Clairvoyant, again, same Warlock problem. Has a bunch of utility, doesn't back it up with much damage, but at the same time, I've seen people use her in battlegrounds. I've seen her being good in multiple metas. She is very versatile. That's her strength. She can heal, she can do damage, she can control power. She is great against champions who are immune to one of her three debuffs. She has Nullify. She has like the SP2 has what Fate Seal or something where for a while opening like buff control basically, right? So she even has immortality kind of if you have a weekend, but that's not as good as the other cheesy immortal champions that we have here on the list. But yeah, then Tigra is super skill, extremely super skill players required. Or super really good skill players required to play her to her max potential. A lot of spacing things, how to phase through like miss special attacks and stuff, and do your own heavy attack, like interrupt opponent with your own heavy attack, gain the ruptures, playing aggressive and keeping your mods on. But the damage is there. She can be really, really good against characters like with projectiles, special attacks, and stuff. And she is just incredible to watch. Even like if you have a skill player playing, she's just super fun to watch. Yeah, I think she's incredible. Narintra is the tanky boy. His pick 2 I wish created more. Otherwise, his damage, like his damage when SP2 doesn't crit, is not ridiculous, but he's super duper tanky, very sustainable. So even then, offensively, I do see a point using him. Maybe not in battlegrounds, but otherwise, defensively also he is a tank. Even I have one fights where opponent had used torch against Rintra, and I had like some other favorable matchup, but usually when it's torch versus Mystic, it's a game over. But with Rintra, there is a chance because he is super duper tanky. Then we have Absorbing Man, another champion which requires extremely high skill, mainly because of light intercepting, but has crazy damage potential. Some people claim that he is the strongest Mystic. I have heard it a few times and in like line chats and stuff. I don't think he's stronger than Doctor Doom. With Tigra, you can make a comparison in my latest list. I think I did put him above Tigra, but I'm not sure. they're like Tiger and Absorbing Man, I think, are interchangeable, followed by Rintrah Clairvoyant. And that is the list, guys. We can't talk about 200 characters or we'll be here all night. It's already 3:30 here and I'm sweating because I've turned on the fan or turned off the fan because, it makes noise and that's not good. But yeah, that is gonna do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. I think I should do a few live streams here and there. And yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Like, share, subscribe, stay safe, have a good one, and bye bye. Stay safe.